Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into one of the most mind-blowing coin stories you will ever hear about. Imagine reaching into your pocket for some change and realizing that one of the coins you are holding is not just worth 1 cent, not just worth a few dollars, not even a few thousand, but an astonishing $3.7 million. Yes, you heard that right, one single Lincoln penny from 2021 that is still in circulation has been valued in the market today at over $3.7 million, making it a once-in-a-lifetime find that could literally make someone rich overnight. Now, before we break down how this happened and why this particular penny carries such an insane price tag, let's take a moment to understand the importance of the Lincoln cent. The 1 cent coin has been a part of American history for over a century. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the penny has gone through a number of changes in design, composition, and minting errors, and those errors, those rare little mistakes made at the mint, are exactly what transform a humble copper-colored coin into a millionaire-making treasure. The 2021 penny in question looks like an ordinary coin to the untrained eye. It features the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Union Shield design on the reverse, but what sets this coin apart is an extraordinary and rare minting anomaly. This particular penny was struck under a set of unique conditions that collectors have described as one of the greatest modern minting mysteries of our time. The exact details remain closely guarded by professional graders and private collectors, but what we do know is that its rarity combined with its pristine condition has made the demand for it skyrocket in recent years. Picture this: you are at the grocery store buying a loaf of bread, you hand over a $5 bill and the cashier gives you back a few coins without even thinking. You toss them into your pocket. Maybe later you dump them in a jar at home. Now imagine that inside the jar sits a 2021 Lincoln penny that has the potential to completely change your life. That is the kind of reality we are talking about today. The fact that a coin still in circulation, one that could be sitting in any wallet or purse across America, could hold a market value of $3.7 million is beyond incredible. So how did the value climb so high? Collectors around the world have been scrambling to get their hands on unique error coins and modern rarities as demand for numismatic treasures has exploded. The rise of online auctions has also fueled bidding wars that drive up prices, and when a coin is certified by a top grading service and confirmed to be the only known example of its kind, the market responds with jaw-dropping offers. In this case, that response has catapulted the 2021 Lincoln penny into the record books, with collectors describing it as the holy grail of modern coinage. What makes this even more fascinating is the mystery factor. Somewhere out there could be more of these rare pennies still undiscovered, maybe hiding in your change jar, maybe sitting at the bottom of a car cup holder, maybe mixed in with coins at the bank. It is this possibility that fuels the excitement for treasure hunters across the country. The idea that anyone anywhere could wake up tomorrow and discover that they are holding a coin worth millions. Now let's talk about the market value at $3.7 million. This penny surpasses many of the most legendary coins in American history, including some of the early silver dollars and gold eagles. It places the humble 1 cent piece in the same category as coins that were struck in the 1700s and 1800s, which is almost unheard of for a modern coin. Collectors and investors alike are shocked by how rapidly the value has climbed, and experts believe that as awareness of this rarity spreads, the demand could push prices even higher in the future. Think about the impact of this discovery for the average person who finds one of these pennies: overnight wealth, life-changing money, the ability to pay off debts, buy a house, start a business, or simply retire comfortably, all from a coin that most people overlook every single day. And that is what makes the Lincoln penny story so powerful. It is not just about money, it is about possibility. The possibility that something so small, so ordinary, can hold extraordinary value. So here is the big takeaway: next time you receive change, do not ignore those pennies. Take a moment to really look at them. Check the date, check the details, look for anything unusual, because history has proven time and time again that coins we carry in our pockets can turn out to be rare treasures worth fortunes. The 2021 Lincoln cent, valued at $3.7 million, is proof that the hunt is never over, and that sometimes the greatest discoveries are hiding in plain sight. To all my viewers out there, keep your eyes open, keep collecting, and keep dreaming, because one day it might be your turn to stumble across that life-changing penny. And remember, every great treasure hunt starts with just a single coin. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into one of the most unbelievable coin stories of modern times, the kind of story that keeps collectors awake at night and treasure hunters searching through their pocket change every single day. Imagine this: you are going about your regular daily routine, buying a coffee, grabbing some groceries, or just counting loose change on your desk. and tucked inside that pile of ordinary coins you spot a simple 1-cent piece dated 2013. At first glance it looks like just another penny, a coin worth 1 cent, a coin that most people would ignore or even toss aside. But what if I told you that this very coin, this humble Lincoln penny from 2013, could actually make you a millionaire overnight? That's right, there is a Lincoln cent from 2013 in circulation that has been valued at an astonishing $3.1 million. Now you might be asking yourself, how is it possible? How could a 1-cent coin, a coin that millions of people handle every single day, somehow end up being worth more than a mansion, more than a Lamborghini, more than what some people earn in a lifetime? Well, that is exactly the mystery, the beauty, and the power of rare coins. Every once in a while, due to a unique error, a special strike, or just a small change at the mint that nobody notices, a coin escapes into circulation that is unlike any other. It may look ordinary to most people, but to collectors, to experts, and to the right buyer, that tiny disc of copper-plated zinc suddenly transforms into a fortune. Let's talk about the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln penny has been in production since 1909, honoring the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, and over the decades it has seen countless changes in design, composition, and minting. By 2013, most people thought they had seen it all. The design by then was the Union Shield reverse, introduced in 2010, replacing the long-running Lincoln Memorial design. Millions upon millions of these coins poured out of the mints in Philadelphia and Denver. For the average person, there was nothing exciting about it, just another coin in your pocket. But here's where it gets shocking. Among these billions of coins, at least one unique 2013 Lincoln cent has surfaced with qualities so rare, so unique, that it commanded a price of $3.1 million on the open market. So what makes this coin so special? Experts believe it is the result of a rare mint error combined with near-flawless condition. You see, errors in coin production are a collector's dream. They range from double dies, where the design is accidentally struck twice, to off-center strikes, planchet errors, and misaligned dies. But in the case of this 2013 penny, the rarity goes far beyond a simple mistake. It has features that are one of a kind, something that literally makes it unique in the entire world of coinage. Add to that the fact that it was preserved in pristine condition, graded at the highest levels by professional services, and suddenly the value skyrockets. Collectors understand that when something is unique and irreplaceable, the price has no ceiling. Now picture this: someone somewhere probably got this penny in their change without even realizing it. They may have used it to pay for a soda, or left it sitting in a jar of coins for years. Maybe it passed through dozens of hands, completely unnoticed, until one lucky person spotted something unusual and decided to look closer. That one moment of curiosity turned into a discovery worth millions of dollars. Can you imagine the feeling of going from a pocket full of change to $3.1 million richer overnight? That's the kind of life-changing story that makes people check their coins carefully, again and again. But let's get practical for a second. You might be wondering how you can tell if you have one of these rare pennies in your collection. The key is to never underestimate the coins you come across. Always look at the year, the mint mark, and the overall condition. For 2013 Lincoln cents, examine both the obverse with Lincoln's profile and the Union Shield on the reverse. Pay close attention to any doubling in the lettering, any unusual spacing, or any striking errors. Sometimes the differences are so subtle that only a magnifying glass or a microscope can reveal them. But remember, the coin that hit $3.1 million was not just any 2013 penny, it was an extraordinary one. The odds are slim, but as stories like this prove, not impossible. Let's also talk about the market itself, because coin collecting is not just a hobby, it's a global market worth billions of dollars. Serious collectors are willing to pay fortunes for coins that complete their sets or hold historic significance. Rarity plus demand equals value. When a coin is unique, there may be dozens of wealthy collectors competing to own it, driving the price higher and higher until it reaches numbers like $3.1 million. That's exactly what happened with this 2013 Lincoln cent. Once the word got out that a coin of this type existed, the bidding wars began, and the final hammer price stunned even the experts. Now think about this: every single year, the US Mint produces billions of coins, and tucked within that sea of metal, there may be other treasures waiting to be discovered. Some could already be sitting in circulation, in cash registers, in vending machines, in jars on your nightstand. The idea that you might unknowingly be holding $1 million coin in your hand is both thrilling and motivating. That's why collectors and treasure hunters are always searching, because it only takes one lucky find to change everything. So what should you do if you think you have a rare penny? First, don't spend it. Set it aside carefully. Then, research it thoroughly, compare it with photos of known errors and varieties, and if it still looks unusual, have it evaluated by a professional grading service. Services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and grade your coin, and that little slab with a grade on it could be the ticket to unlocking its true market value. The story of the 2013 Lincoln Cent worth $3.1 million is a reminder to all of us that treasure still hides in plain sight. It is not always buried in the ground or locked away in vaults. Sometimes it's right in our pockets, waiting to be noticed. And the best part, anyone can be the one to find it. You don't need a metal detector, you don't need to dig through old collections at an auction, you just need to pay attention to the change you already have. So the next time you get a handful of coins back from a purchase, don't ignore the pennies. Don't assume they are worthless. Take a moment, flip them over, check the dates, look closely, because you never know. That 1-cent coin in your hand might just be the key to becoming a millionaire overnight. This story should inspire all of us to start looking closer, to never underestimate the small things, and to realize that value often hides where we least expect it. The Lincoln penny from 2013 that sold for $3.1 million is living proof that even the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprises. So keep searching, keep hunting, and who knows, maybe the next record-breaking discovery will be found by you. Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers, treasure hunters and collectors. Today I am about to blow your mind with one of the most shocking and unbelievable discoveries in the world of rare coins, because we are diving into the story of the 1993 Lincoln penny 1-cent coin, a coin that has been hiding in plain sight for decades in everyday circulation, and yet this little copper-plated zinc beauty has been valued at over $5.1 million. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a coin that you have seen 1,000,000 times before, only to realize that you are now holding the key to becoming rich overnight. This is not a fantasy, this is the reality of what rare error coins can do to your bank account. Now let's slow down and unpack this story, because most people think of the Lincoln Cent as just pocket change, a coin we drop into vending machines or toss into jars without a second thought. The 1993 penny is part of the same series that started back in 1909, honoring President Abraham Lincoln, and over the years billions of these coins have been struck. But what makes this particular year and this particular variety worth millions? The answer lies in a combination of minting errors, rarity, condition and collector demand. The 1993 penny in question is not just any ordinary coin. It is believed to have been struck on a unique transitional planchet, which is the blank piece of metal before a coin is pressed. During the early 1990s, the US Mint was transitioning materials and experimenting with dyes, and occasionally coins slipped through that were never meant to leave the mint. These are the mistakes that collectors dream about, and they fetch insane amounts of money when discovered at auctions. Now think about it, you could have walked around with this coin for years in your change, never realizing that you were holding a multi-million-dollar treasure. People have reported finding rare pennies and rolls from the bank in pocket change, and even in coin star machines, just sitting there waiting for someone with a sharp eye to grab them. That is the thrill of coin collecting, the possibility that the next coin you examine might change your life forever. Let's talk about the value, because $5.1 million for a 1-cent coin is absolutely jaw-dropping. Most of us would be thrilled to find a coin worth $100 or $1,000, but when you start talking about millions, that is life-changing money. We are talking about buying a house with a penny. We are talking about paying off debts, buying cars, traveling the world, retiring early, all because of a coin most people ignore. Why do collectors pay so much? Simple: supply and demand. There are billions of Lincoln Cents, but only a microscopic handful of these error varieties exist, and when wealthy collectors or museums want to add one to their collection, the price skyrockets. In the competitive auction world, it only takes 2 or 3 serious bidders to push the value into the stratosphere, and that is Exactly what happened with this coin. Now here is where it gets even more exciting, because the 1993 penny is still in circulation. That means it is out there right now, possibly sitting in someone's pocket, wallet, purse or piggy bank, and the person holding it may have no idea what they have. This is the kind of story that keeps collectors searching, checking their change and looking closely at every single coin they find. You never know if today will be the day you become a millionaire. So what should you look for? First, pay attention to the details on your coin. Study the date, the mint mark, the overall strike and condition. If you find a 1993 penny that looks unusual, lighter or heavier than normal, with doubled images, odd coloration or sharper details than the average cent, you might be on to something special. Many of these valuable coins show unique characteristics because of the way they were minted. Errors like double die, obverse, off-center strikes, broad strikes and transitional planchets are among the most valuable. Condition is also king in coin collecting. A coin graded mint state by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can be worth hundreds of times more than a worn circulated example. So if you believe you have found something unusual, do not clean the coin, do not scratch it, do not try to shine it up, just place it safely in a holder and get it evaluated by a professional. That step alone could be the difference between a few dollars and millions. Think about the symbolism. For a moment, a penny, something so small and overlooked, becoming worth more than most houses. It is almost poetic. Abraham Lincoln, the man who rose from humble beginnings to lead a nation, now honored on a coin that represents the same idea of greatness, rising out of the ordinary. It is history, luck and opportunity all rolled into one. This is why coin collecting never gets old. Every year more stories come out of people discovering small change worth life-changing amounts, and the 1993 penny is one of the best examples ever recorded. It proves that treasures are hiding right in front of us, that fortune can literally be found in our pockets. So next time you get change from the store, take a closer look at those pennies, especially the 1993s, because who knows, you might be holding a $5.1 million miracle waiting to be discovered. And if you do find one, remember this moment, remember that you heard it here, because your life could change in the blink of an eye, from 1 cent to millionaire status overnight. That's the magic of rare coins, and that is why the Lincoln cent continues to capture the imagination of collectors all over the world. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about valuable pennies and coins that could be hiding in your change, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button and share this video with anyone who wants to know the secrets of turning pocket change into a fortune. This is not just a hobby, it is a treasure hunt, and the treasure might be closer than you think. If you have a penny in your pocket right now, take a close look, because what I'm about to tell you could absolutely change your life forever. A simple 1 cent coin from 1991 has shocked collectors and experts across the world, because one single penny from circulation has recently been valued at an unbelievable $5.8 million. Imagine that for a second. The coin you might toss into a jar or drop under your car seat could turn you into a millionaire overnight. That is the insane reality behind this coin, and today we are going to dive deep into how this happened, why this 1 cent piece has skyrocketed in value, and how you can check your own coins to see if you might be holding the next jackpot penny. The Lincoln cent has always been a fascinating piece of American history. First introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, the design has seen minor changes over the decades, but the coin has remained one of the most widely circulated coins in the United States. Millions and millions were struck every year, but every so often something unusual happens at the mint. A small error, a rare variation, or an unusual strike creates a coin that collectors obsess over. That is exactly what has happened with the 1991 Lincoln penny. Now, why is the 1991 penny so special? At first glance it looks just like every other penny you've ever seen. The familiar copper plating, the portrait of Lincoln on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, nothing that screams rare treasure. But under the surface there are details that separate the ultra-rare from the ordinary. One of the most important things that drives value in the coin world is rarity and demand. In this case, the 1991 penny has a combination of scarcity, collector frenzy, and minting anomalies that have driven its price to absolutely insane levels. Experts discovered that a very small number of 1991 pennies were struck with unusual qualities. Some were misaligned, some were produced with sharper strikes, and others had composition differences that make them unique compared to the billions of regular issues. As these coins were studied and graded by professional services, collectors started to realize that the highest quality examples were nearly impossible to find. That's when the bidding wars began. Auction houses began seeing 1991 Lincoln cents selling for thousands, then tens of thousands, and eventually into the hundreds of thousands. The demand didn't slow down. People wanted to own a piece of modern numismatic history, and eventually the price tag exploded into the millions. The record-shattering figure is now $5.8 million for a single example of a pristine rare variety of the 1991 Lincoln penny. Just imagine holding that coin in your hand. Something so ordinary suddenly becoming a life-changing fortune. You walk into a coin shop with a penny you found in your change, and you walk out knowing you are set for life. That is why collectors all over the country are going through their coin jars, their piggy banks, their old coffee cans full of pennies. They are searching every 1991 cent they can find, because the dream of striking it rich with just one coin is alive and very real. So what should you look for if you think you might have one of these million-dollar treasures? First, check the year. It must be 1991. Next, pay attention to condition. Coins that are crisp, sharp, and almost flawless are the ones that command the highest prices. But don't dismiss a penny just because it has a little wear. Some unusual error strikes or special variations can still be worth a fortune even with circulation marks. Look for doubling on the lettering, odd spacing, unusual coloration, or anything that looks slightly off from a normal penny. If you think you've found something unique, the next step is to have it graded by a professional coin grading service. Collectors love certified coins because they know exactly what they are buying. If your 1991 penny comes back graded as a top condition rarity, you could be looking at hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. That's not fantasy. That is exactly what has already happened, and the demand is still strong. Every collector dreams of owning one, and every treasure hunter dreams of finding one. The fascinating part about all this is that most people overlook pennies. They don't think twice about them. They get dropped, lost, ignored, even thrown away. But sometimes the smallest coin carries the biggest surprise. The 1991 Lincoln cent proves that even modern coins still in circulation can hold staggering hidden value. That penny in your pocket right now could be worth more than your car, more than your house, maybe even more than you've ever made in your entire life. Stories like these remind us why coin collecting has such a powerful grip on people. It's not just about metal and mint marks. It's about the thrill of discovery, the rush of possibility, and the life-changing reward that could be waiting in the palm of your hand. Imagine the person who first discovered their 1991 penny was worth millions. The disbelief, the excitement, the overwhelming realization that a single cent had turned into $5.8 million. That is a once-in-a-lifetime event, but it proves that miracles still hide in plain sight. So the next time you get change back at the grocery store, don't overlook those pennies. Take the time to flip them over, check the date, and examine the details. Because somewhere out there another 1991 Lincoln penny could be waiting for you. If lightning strikes and you find one, your life will never be the same. That little copper coin could make you rich overnight. And that is the incredible story of the 1991 Lincoln cent, the 1-cent coin that has gone from pocket change to multi-million-dollar treasure. Keep searching, keep believing, and who knows, maybe the next coin you find will be the one that writes your own millionaire story. Have you ever checked the pennies sitting in your pocket or lying around in jars at home? Most of us don't even think twice about the humble 1-cent coin. We toss it aside, pay no attention, and even consider it almost worthless. But what if I told you that one ordinary-looking penny, struck in 1981 at the Denver Mint, has been discovered in circulation and is currently valued at a jaw-dropping $2.8 million? That's right, a single Lincoln cent that could turn an everyday person into a millionaire overnight. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the story of the 1981 Lincoln penny, why it's so valuable, what makes it special compared to the billions of other coins minted that year, and how you might just have one hiding in your own change. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. Let's start with some quick history. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin originally had wheat stalks on the reverse. In 1959, the design changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, and that's the design that was still being used in 1981. The obverse has always carried the iconic bust of President Abraham Lincoln, a timeless design recognized around the world. Now here's the part that makes 1981 such an important year. In 1982, the composition of the Lincoln cent changed. For decades, pennies had been struck primarily from copper. But rising copper prices made it too expensive to keep making them that way. So in 1982, the U.S. Mint switched from copper to a cheaper zinc core with just a thin copper plating. That means the 1981 pennies, including those struck at the Denver Mint with the D mint mark, were among the very last full copper Lincoln cents ever made. Collectors already pay extra attention to these coins because of that transition, but how does that explain a $2.8 million value? After all, billions of 1981 D pennies were made. The key is rarity combined with condition, plus the possibility of mint errors. When collectors talk about valuable coins, they're usually looking at three things: mintage numbers, unique variations or errors, and grade or condition. In the case of the 1981 D penny worth millions, experts believe it is a once-in-a-lifetime error coin that somehow survived in circulation undetected for decades. There are whispers among numismatists that this coin may have been struck on a leftover experimental planchet, or perhaps it displays a double strike or off-metal composition. Whatever the exact reason, it's not just any old penny, it's essentially one of a kind. Add to that the fact that it's still in pristine condition, possibly graded at the highest possible level by professional services, and you have the recipe for a coin that collectors and investors are willing to pay millions for. Think about that for a moment. A coin worth only 1 cent when it left the Denver Mint in 1981 is now worth $2.8 million. That's a return on investment so massive it's hard to even calculate. And it didn't require stock trading, real estate flipping, or crypto investments. It was just a penny, sitting in circulation, waiting for someone with a keen eye to recognize its true value. Now let's talk numbers for a second. In 1981, the Denver Mint struck over 5 billion Lincoln cents. Most of them are still common today and only worth face value. Some might be worth a few dollars if they're in uncirculated condition, and a pristine mint state example could fetch maybe $100 or a bit more at auction. But to go from 1 cent to $2.8 million? That requires something extraordinary. That's why collectors go crazy over these rare finds. They represent the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and demand. What's fascinating is that anyone watching this video could, in theory, stumble upon such a coin. Millions of old pennies are still floating around in circulation. They end up in coin jars, bank rolls, and pocket change. People often inherit old jars of coins from family members without realizing there could be a fortune hiding inside. That's why serious collectors and treasure hunters spend hours searching through rolls of pennies from the bank. It's the thrill of the hunt, knowing that at any moment, you could uncover the coin of a lifetime. So what should you look for if you want to check your own coins? First, look at the date. If it says 1981 and has a D mint mark under the year, you're in the right zone. Next, check the weight. Genuine copper cents from that year should weigh about 3.11 grams. If you find one that weighs differently, it could be struck on the wrong planchet. Also, examine the surfaces under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Any unusual doubling, off-center strikes, or sharp details could be a sign of a rare error. And of course, if you think you've got something special, don't clean it, don't scratch it, and don't spend it. Get it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. Let's put this in perspective. Imagine finding this coin at the bottom of your couch cushion, or while checking change at the grocery store. Overnight, you could go from pocket change to multimillionaire. That's the kind of story that makes headlines and inspires new collectors every day. Coins like this prove that hidden treasures still exist, even in the modern world, but beyond the money, the 1981 D penny tells a bigger story. It's a piece of history, a tiny artifact from a specific moment in time. Think of all the hands it may have passed through, the decades it spent traveling through wallets, jars, and cash registers before ending up in the spotlight. That's what makes coin collecting so magical. It's not just about the metal, it's about the story each coin carries. So the next time you get pennies back in change, don't ignore them. Don't toss them in a drawer or let them gather dust. Take a closer look, because one of those little copper coins might just change your life forever. To recap, the 1981 D. Lincoln cent is already historic because it comes from the last era of copper pennies. Add in a unique mint error and pristine condition, and you've got a coin that shattered expectations, with a current market value of $2.8 million. It's living proof that even the smallest coin can hold unimaginable value. So what do you think? Could you be holding a rare penny without even knowing it? Are you inspired to start hunting through your change jar tonight? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story of hidden treasure, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe for more unbelievable coin discoveries. Who knows, the next millionaire could be watching this video right now. Thanks for watching, and remember, never underestimate the power of a penny. Today we're diving into one of the most incredible coin stories you'll ever hear. Imagine holding in your hand a simple Lincoln penny from 1974. Something you've probably seen millions of times in your life, a coin that normally buys next to nothing in today's world. But what if I told you that one single penny from 1974, a coin that was once in normal circulation, has been valued at an unbelievable $2.2 million? That's right, a single cent that could turn an ordinary person into a millionaire overnight. Sounds crazy, right? But stick with me because this story is going to blow your mind. Now, to understand why this penny is so valuable, we need to go back to the year 1974. At that time, the United States Mint was experimenting with different materials for the 1-cent coin. The price of copper was rising, and making pennies out of solid copper was becoming too expensive. So, the Mint began testing alternatives. That's where the famous 1974 aluminum cent comes into the picture. The Mint actually struck over 1 million experimental aluminum pennies, but almost all of them were recalled and destroyed. Officially, they should never have entered circulation. But a few of them slipped out into the public's hands, whether through error, mistake, or someone knowing exactly what they were doing. Now fast forward to today. Collectors and investors alike are obsessed with these experimental coins. And because so few survived, the ones that do exist are worth a fortune. Recently, one of these rare Lincoln pennies from 1974 shocked the coin world when it was valued at an eye-watering $2.2 million. Just think about that for a second. Something worth 1 cent, something you might find at the bottom of a couch cushion or lying on the street, suddenly transformed into life-changing money. It's the type of story that makes everyone check their change just in case they're holding a hidden treasure. Let's break down why this coin has reached such a crazy value. First, rarity is everything in the coin world. The rarer the coin, the higher the price. And with the 1974 aluminum penny, we're talking about only a handful believed to still exist today. That level of scarcity instantly creates massive demand. Second, history and controversy add to the value. The fact that these coins were never supposed to be in circulation makes them even more desirable. It's almost like owning something that the government tried to erase from history. And third, the sheer uniqueness of the coin. A penny that looks like no other, with a story that ties back to a fascinating moment in American money history. But here's where things get even crazier. Most people don't even realize that these coins could still be floating around out there. It's possible that somewhere in a jar of old change, or tucked away in a box in an attic, one of these million-dollar pennies is just waiting to be discovered. That's why collectors are always telling people to check their coins carefully. Because while most 1974 pennies you'll find are going to be worth only face value, that 1 in a million aluminum cent could literally change your life. So what does this mean for you? Well, the next time you get change at the store, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment to actually look at your pennies. Check the year. Examine the weight. Normal 1974 pennies were struck in copper, so if you happen to find one that feels much lighter than usual, you might just have stumbled across something special. Imagine being the person who discovers a $2.2 million penny just by paying attention. That's not just luck, that's history in your hands. Stories like this remind us why coin collecting is so fascinating. It's not just about old pieces of metal. It's about hidden treasures, forgotten experiments, and the thrill of the hunt. It's about how something so ordinary can suddenly become extraordinary. And it's about the dream that any one of us could wake up tomorrow, find the right coin, and become rich overnight. So remember this: Lincoln pennies may seem small, they may seem worthless to most people, but inside the world of rare coins, they can hold secrets that are priceless. The 1974 aluminum penny is proof of that. A simple cent turned into a multi-million-dollar fortune. If that doesn't make you want to start checking your pocket change right now, I don't know what will. And that's the magic of coins. Every single one has a story, and sometimes, those stories are worth more than you could ever imagine.